All right, you guys, do you struggle with managing your time? Do you feel like you are always fighting that consistency game? Like we hear from every single social media business expert that consistency is the number, even health coaches, right? The consistency is the number one determinant of success. And I know that the clients that I've worked with in over a decade inside the network marketing slash social selling industry is that consistency is actually the number one thing that women and likely men, but I work mainly with women, struggle with. And I think it makes perfect sense, right? Because every single day in our lives is different. There's always things flying at us, always things coming up. And even though we have the very best of intentions and we have set really big goals for our businesses, it's not always easy to be consistent. So the first thing I want to kind of say to you is that for me and to me, consistency doesn't look like 100%. Consistency is not perfection. I think perfection is this like really unattainable goal that really just sets us up for success. So if we tell ourselves that consistency is 100% of the time you do X, Y, Z, how many of us are actually going to succeed at that, right? Like I want to say probably zero, unless you are closer to a robot than a human. So for me, I think consistency is about at that 80% level. If you can commit to the things you need to do to grow, maintain, and build your business 80% of the time, you, my friend, are laughing. So in this video, what I want to do is outline what I call your baseline activity. And I want to start by talking about like what is your baseline activity versus what it isn't. So when I talk about baseline activity, what I'm referring to are the activities that you do inside your business on a daily basis that keep the lights on. They aren't necessarily what like grow it to that six-figure level. They aren't the things that are proactive and build your empire, but they are the things that you are absolutely committed to. And if you don't do it, it's almost like not turning, it's almost like if you had a bricks and mortar business, not showing up to work one day, flicking on the lights and throwing up the open sign on the door, right? Like no one will come into your store if the lights aren't on, the door's not locked, the sign's not up. So I want you to consider what would your baseline activity list be for an online business that essentially throws up the open sign, makes it bright and flashing on a daily basis, right? And then those are the things we're going to put on your baseline activity list, and you're going to commit to doing those things consistently, which basically means as many, like every day of the week. But if you can only get 5 to 6 days done, we're going to like not worry about that extra day. However, what I also need you to know is that you don't want that 80% of your consistency to become your baseline, right? You want it to just kind of be out of the norm. You don't kick yourself in the ass if like you only do it 80%, but your goal is every day. Okay, so on your baseline activity list, the things that turn your open sign on inside your online business are things like your social media, right? And knowing what your social media strategy is. And I'm actually going to do a full training to help you nail down what your own social media strategy is going to be. You can find it as the next video inside this playlist. I'm going to show you that video, but for right now, likely the majority of you already know what is my personal social media strategy, where am I showing up, how often am I showing up. That, my friends, in an online business is the equivalent of turning the lights on. If you don't post, if you don't show up online, how does anybody know that your open sign is up, right? They don't, out of sight, out of mind. The other things that I think are kind of baseline activity lists are placing any orders that you have to place and responding to any messages or that are sent to you or comments that are made. I really think this is a very important piece. I don't know about you, but I have literally sent messages to people before that would have been like, orders or questions that may have led to orders or questions that may have led to business opportunities and collaborations that went left unresponded to, or were left for like 3 or 4 or 5 days. And when that happens to you, like I don't know about you, but I honestly tell myself this person obviously isn't that committed to their business. So I don't want you to ever leave messages any more than 24 hours. Like, I don't necessarily want to throw you into your inbox 6, 7, 8, 9 times a day, but if you could commit to going into your inbox at least 2 times a day and responding to any messages in there, not only do I think that that kind of sets a really good boundary and will become, it was not overly overwhelming to you, but I do think it's a really great baseline to responding to messages. Maybe it's one time in the morning, one time in the evening, however that works for you. But I do believe your messages are one of your baseline activities. So what I want you to do is take out a piece of paper and actually write down specifically what would be on your baseline activity list. And I want you to get really detailed in this. And if you can actually create, and what I'll do is I'll actually link down below some templates that you can use, as well as an example of what a baseline activity list will look like. It's a really handy PDF. You can download it for free. And I think it will kind of put this into a frame for you, and it'll help you work through this to create your own. But what I would love to see you do is actually legitimately create yourself a checklist. Now, here's the thing that we need to remember about your baseline activity list. This is what you are committed to, even when life gets in the way. Even when you are, even when your kids are sick and you don't feel like you have anything like an extra second for yourself, even when you're running in 17 different directions, even when your spouse is not home, you're juggling 7 kids, 12 cats, and like full-time job on your own, like your baseline activity list is the list that you do regardless of anything else that's going on in life. Okay. It's not necessarily how you're going to grow your business. However, it is what you're committed to, and you will be absolutely amazed at the momentum that you're able to build when you commit to this list. Like, imagine if you were to be doing your social media strategy consistently and effectively and strategically for every day for 30, 60, 90 days. Like, you would also start to see results just from doing that and that alone. But inside of not the next training, but the next one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how to create a power hour as well. And your power hour is what you're going to build on top of your baseline activity list that will actually be the things that grow your business proactively and intentionally. Your baseline activity list is your non-negotiables. These are the things that I do regardless of whatever else is going on in my business. My social media strategy, and on your list that you're creating, I want you to actually write what it is you're doing inside your social media strategy. So if you have Instagram, how often are you showing up on Instagram? If you're doing stories, how often are you showing up in those stories? If you have a VIP group or you have a TikTok account, how often are you posting on those? And again, in the next training, I'm actually going to talk to you about what each platform kind of requires from you from a strategic standpoint in the social selling industry. But for this one, just start with like where you're at right now and keep in the back of your head that you can fine tune this. One of the things that I like to do is now I don't do this anymore because this is so habitual inside my life. I've been doing my baseline activity without fail now for years and years and years. But whenever I want to build a habit, what I do is I take the notes section out on my phone and I put that list of things in there. And every single day as I'm doing it, I check it off as I do it. And then when you get to the end of the day, you just uncheck them and you start fresh the next day. Easy peasy, really great way to keep yourself on track, hold yourself accountable, but a paper list would work the same way. Whatever works for you, just my phone is always on me. Maybe I should be ashamed of that, but it's just the natural course of what I do for a living. My phone is always right next to me. It's very easily acceptable, and that list is easy for me to access at any time. So I never want there to be any kind of like barriers, right? Remove those barriers, anything that makes it difficult to get the thing done. So just to summarize this quick little training, your baseline activity list are the things that you do day in, day out in your business every single day. They are the things that keep the lights on in your business, the things that you are committed to, even when life gets in your way. Because I can promise you, Life is always going to get in your way. You can have the very best intentions. You can set really incredible goals. You can be extremely, extremely motivated for even a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but inevitably, life is going to throw you a curveball. Life is going to ask you, how much do you care about this goal that you're working on? And you have your baseline activity list to fall back on when you don't have time for anything else. And this, my friends, is one of the most important elements of building a social selling / network marketing business. The number one thing that you can do is set aside time to work your business. Stop working your business in the cracks of your day. Working your business in the cracks of your day only leads to overwhelm, only leads to burnout, only leads to people quitting. If you can set aside time to work your business, then the next step is figuring out what you're going to do with that time. Your baseline activity is the very first thing that you're going to start doing. Your baseline activity list should probably take you about 30 minutes a day. However, in the beginning, when you're just starting out and getting comfortable on social media, creating content, all those pieces, it may take you a little bit longer. Okay? But as you go, and as you grow and as you get better at all the activities you're doing inside your business, you're going to find it gets a lot quicker, right? You can think of a post a lot quicker. You even can pre-schedule ahead of time, all those good things. All right, you guys. Make sure that you set aside time to do this right now in this moment, and that you also create a way for you to track your baseline activities every single day. If you want some help, if you want to see if you want templates and you want an example of what a baseline activity list would look like, make sure you download my document. It's called Steal My Day Planner. It will give you an outline for both a baseline activity list as well as a power hour, and it will get you started on creating both of those. All right, enjoy.